Hey y'all, it's Steve, Hobo with Wood. This video is going to be my first test using the Genmitsu Kiosk to engrave some Slate coasters. I did a couple of test pieces before I started this video just to see if it's going to work. It does work. And we're going to dive into some things about this kiosk that can make it really user-friendly with just a few little tips and tricks. So if you're interested in something that's small, compact, portable, and you can use at events, this might be the laser for you. Hang around. This is my second video on the Genmitsu Kiosk. I had a different video that showed the unboxing and how small and simple it was and how quick and easy it is to set up. I'll put a link to that down in the description of this video. This is going to be my first engravings on some Slate coasters. Now, this is a small 100 by 100 millimeter work area 10 watt diode laser. It is not the laser for everyone. It has what I would consider a very specific usage or environment that you would use this in. This would not be the laser I would buy to be my everyday work laser in my shop for all my needs and wants when it comes to laser creations. It's just too small. But it is perfect if you're someone who does craft shows and art fairs, anything like that, and maybe you have a larger Roly Lasermatic XW with the 30 watt and the large work area, and 16 by 24 give or take, and it does everything you need at lots, really good speeds, and has all the power and then some that you need. Or maybe even have a 60 or 100 watt CO2. You can't carry those to art shows. You can't carry those to craft fairs. But you take all of your wares that you make with your other laser there and you show them off and you display them. And people ask you, well, I like those earrings, or I like that, but can you personalize those? Can you do this? Can you make this? Can you do that? Sure you can, but not there. Well, this is something you can take with you to a craft show, as long as your local government regulations will allow you to operate lasers in a public environment. This is fully enclosed when it's at this current height. This is the kiosk sitting behind me here. It's so small that it's sitting inside the XW. It is a perfect engraving and marking laser. In its current configuration, it is not really set up for cutting anything. It does not have air assist, and it does not have a honeycomb. It has a solid steel plate for the bed to rest your material on. Now, excuse me. In fact, I'm going to switch over here, do a close-up. Well, it's too close. Here you can see it's just a metal plate that sits in there. Now, if you can see, if I move it around the light, you can see I did mark this steel using the laser to create a 100 millimeter work area, so you can see what your work area is. That's just a light engraving with the 10 watt diode laser. And that gives you a general vicinity of where you need to place your material. And if you were working with a piece of material that was exactly 100 by 100, you could line that up visually and kind of get a good outcome. But I don't like good enough. I want precision. And you can do that with this laser, especially if you have other lasers that you can create templates for different materials you're going to work with. For example, if I was going to take this laser to a craft fair and I wanted to create custom engraved slate coasters there on the spot, I need to be able to do it quickly and be able to do it repeatedly without a whole lot of wasting time setting up. So I'm going to do that with a jig. And what I've done is I've created a jig that's specific for these slate coasters and this kiosk laser. And here you can see this is just a plain piece of steel. This is what I created to fit into the bed of that kiosk. And as you can see, if I stack those up, it's perfect size, perfect fit. There is a small pocket in the bed of this laser for this plate to fit into, and I've designed this so it's the exact same size to fit into the bed of the laser. And then I engraved it, and I thought about this after the fact. I did this with these 4 squares in here to accommodate the little rubber feet on there. And the little rubber feet, they're not applied with precision, so they're in a general vicinity. So I needed to make sure that when I placed this on there, that the slate coaster would fit into that recessed pocket that I engraved in perfect position, but then allow for some misalignment of those dots. And you can see this one down over here. That one's really close, where the other one's, that one's a little closer to center, but this works. And by keeping this middle section in here, it keeps some rigidness or rigidity to the overall, what do you call that again? Jig. It says it right there, coaster jig. I even, engraved on there so I know what it is. It was laying in the shop 6 months later. I don't feel, what'd you make that for? Because I do that. But with this jig dropped into place, there you go. Press that into place. That's good. Alright, so that's in there. Now all I've got to do is take my slate coaster and it will fit within that little pocket that I made. Make sure it's all centered up. Looks good. And now that I've got that placed, I've already focused the laser. It's got a little kickstand on the laser module that drops down, and I focused that to the height of the slate coaster. Now I just need to close the lid on my Genmitsu Kiosk. Jump over here and I'll show you what I have in Lightburn. Let's see here. Let me go here and switch. So in Lightburn, I have the same toolpath set up as the jig. I keep forgetting that word, jig. And I've got everything that was cut out and engraved on the jig on a toolpath. So now all I have to do is put my artwork in the center of that 100 by 100 area work path, and that's going to center it up in the center of the toolpath. Everything else was centered as I made the kiosk, so that should put it right in the middle of the slate coaster. Now, the thing about slate coasters, the way they're made, the edge of them are chipped away, at least these are, and they're done probably, they might be done mechanically, but with the way these are cut, they're probably cut mechanically. But the chipping and the art, that they might actually do that by hand, and with the way they're packed and shipped, additional chipping will occur, and it's not uniform. You're gonna have, let's get me off my head, there we go. And this one was not a great design to go with because it's an abstract geometrical design. And because of it having weird angles coming down here instead of being squared off, it really looks like it's potentially more off center than it is. But the chipped edges of the slate coasters are also going to add to the illusion of it not being centered when it is. And that's just one of the drawbacks of slate coasters. So you might consider that a couple of things when you're doing these for size. Speed of your engraving is going to, of course, increase the engraving time. And the larger it is, the closer it is to the edges, the more evident of how off-center it will be. So I would recommend doing it, instead of trying to fill it up like I did here, do it, maybe 2/3 this size, and that will help with the illusion of it being centered when it's not actually, it is centered, but it'll help it look more centered when with the edges the way they are. And it also cut down on your engraving time. So we're going to set up this artwork and send the first one to the laser and see how long it takes. How realistic is it to be able to expect to do slate coasters in a retail environment while somebody's standing there waiting, or you've got other customers you need to deal with? But there's another product that I'm wanting to do, and I don't know what I've done with it. ID tags, like dog tags, even tags that look like dog tags that you would wear, military dog tags, but they're anodized aluminum, and all you got to do is use the laser to quickly mark a name, dates, information, or if it's for a pet, your name's, date, and your contact information. And I'm gonna make a jig for that and do that in another video and test it. I think that one is going to be a much more realistic use of this laser, especially in a retail environment. Somebody standing there and you want it done while they wait. Because let's take a look at how long this is going to take to do one, and you're going to do these in sets of 4. So let's jump over here to Lightburn again. And I'm going to take this, and it is centered up in my material, but I want to make it a little smaller. I've got my aspect ratio locked. I've got it locked to the center, and I'm going to tell it to do a percentage, and I want it to be, let's look at 66%. That might be a little bit small, so let's undo that, and let's do 75%. I want this as large as possible, but based on what I've seen already, if it's, let's go 80%. Nope. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so now I'm going to select my artwork, and let's switch this to here. And let's frame this, laser frame, and I did not have, all right, nope, all right. I've got my settings, and I'm using my Slate settings from another 10-watt diode. And I'm going to, let's see here, wrong way. The settings I'm going to use for this slate coaster are, in fact, you know what? Let's see what the maximum speed is on this Genmitsu Kiosk. Because I've got set to 10,000, but I don't know if the Genmitsu can even do it. So let's go, and I'm doing this. I'm recording this without a lot of live or editing. Right now I'm just typing it into Google to get their Genmitsu Kiosk specifications. And let's switch you over here. All right, engraving speed. All right, up to 12,000. millimeters a minute. So it will easily do the 10,000 that I've got it set to. So that's good. That's good. All right, so I'm going to be using 10,000 millimeters a minute at 60% power on the 10 watt diode to do my first slate coaster. And let's put you over here and send it to the laser. So right now, if I look at my estimator, Lightburn says that this is going to take about 4 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm going to do this first one in real time and take a look at how that turns out. And then I will do the remaining 4. But if this is, and the estimator is accurate, it takes a little over 4 minutes. But with the switching out the coasters and getting the setup time, I say 5 minutes a coaster at 4. It's 20 minutes for a set of coasters. And if you were in a show environment, $20 or 20 minutes for someone to stand there and not walk around. They're probably not going to want to stand there for 20-30 minutes. They're going to want to go see the show, so you can make the sale, take their money, make the coasters, and then they can come back and pick them up throughout the show. But price wise, what would you sell these for? And then are you going to make a box to put them in to go with it? Are you going to sell the bare coasters? Lots of things to think about. But I'm liking this. This is turning out pretty good. I like that size. It's not too big, and I believe it's going to look good with the edges of the material like it is. And for giggles, that is roughly 56 millimeters wide and about 45 millimeters tall for the logo, for the artwork. And I like that. I have another coaster here ready, and just as soon as this one completes, I'm going to open the lid up, stick another one on, and hit the start button, and see how long it actually takes me to do this in the transition. I will not bother leaving it in real-time speed for the entire process of a set of 4, but I wanted you to see that, hey, this little Genmitsu Kiosk can do some quality work with a little bit of prep time, especially if you're going to be doing something in a retail environment and speed is of the essence. You don't want to spend a half an hour setting up to do a job that's going to take 25 minutes. And we're showing we're about 80% through the first one. I show the laser's been going for 3 minutes with a minute left. And these are my first slate coasters I've done. So there's a bunch of different schools and trains of thoughts about, do you seal them or do you not? And my initial train of thought is, if you put a sealer on slate and seal it up to protect your artwork, by putting that sealer on there, now you are losing the small amount of ability to absorb that the slate coaster has. And different people have different thoughts about coasters. Do you want it to be slightly absorbent, or do you want it to not absorb the moisture? Yeah, if you make the moisture just sit there on top of it, well, that's great. It's sitting on your coaster and not on your table. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments. Do you think that slate coasters should have a sealer on them, or should they be left in their natural form? All right, that one's finished. That didn't take terrible long. like that. That's a good size. It really is. All right, now I'm just looking at the the way the structure of the slate is set up. There, my jig all moved. Just make sure we got this in a good center position. There we go. That snapped in place. Got to get the jig in the center. There we go. That's good. That's in the corner. And now just simply hit start. All right, I'll speed that up from here and I'll show you the end result when we're done. Okay, so that project went pretty quick with the jig in place. They were easy to place and easy to reproduce without a lot of hassle, any hassle. And I have got 4 perfectly positioned monograms very, very quickly and very simple to do. I've decided I'm not putting on any kind of finish or sealer on these. Again, like I said, put some comments in the feedback in the comments. What do you do? Do you seal yours? What's your experience with it about absorbing, not absorbing? But while I was waiting for this to finish up, I also decided I was going to make a small, simple, quick box to put these in while you're sitting on the coffee table. So, and I wanted to match it up with the same monogram, Moten. So I've got a simple little box here that's got little finger holes that you can, grab or place the coaster into and retrieve it when you need to. And they fit in there just fine. Easy spacing, they're not sloppy loose. Easy to grab when you need just one or two, but in addition to having the monogram on the coaster, finger holes to grab it, I put the same monogram on the box. And I went with, I did not use a box generator to create this. I created it from scratch because and I guess there are some box generators that will do this for you, where to get this base is up. It's not just snap to the bottom with finger joints. It's in the slots. That base, that bottom of that box is not coming out unless you break it. So I like that. I like that total package. So, and it was you could not make the box with the kiosk. That's so I'm just showing you the total package, how you could do that. You could have some pre-made boxes if you were going to be offering monogram coasters. You wouldn't do the monogram boxes. You just have some plain pre-made boxes ready to go at your events. Like I said, you can't cut with this thing. No air assist. You can cut. It's not that it won't. It's just not going to be. It's not designed for that. It's not going to give you the nice, finished edges because it doesn't have air assist, so it's going to have a lot of burning. It's going to take a while because it's no air assist and only a 10 watt. So I made the box with my XW, but everything else was done with the kiosk. And that works. So I'm impressed with this little machine. And I found they were under my coasters. I've got these that I'm going to do my next test with this kiosk. These are little anodized aluminum tags. I've got heart shapes. In addition to the hearts, I've got like the military ID shape, dog tag shape, and then dog bone shaped, and then some just regular old rounds for little small dogs or luggage IDs or whatever. And this pack come with all of those and rings to put on. And I'm going to make a jig for these as well. I'm going to make a single jig that'll have all 4 of these accommodating shapes, or a jig that will accommodate all 4 of those shapes in a single jig. That way, less to create, less to hang, maintain, keep up with. And if you're at a show doing those ID tags, you drop that in there. Which one I need, you put the one in that one location that you've got it set up in your jig within Lightburn. You've got everything located. All you got to do is center it up within the toolpath of your jig, hit a button and sit and start. And those, because they're really small and it's just got to remove the anodizing off the aluminum, those are going to be fast. Those are going to be real easy and something you can do for probably a couple bucks and make a couple bucks. You buy enough of those in bulk, you're not going to have but a few pennies in them. And I think most of the pet stores that offer those dog tags, you can do engraving there on. They usually get $5-6 a piece for those dog tags. So anyway, that'll be the next video. And I thank you for hanging around. These turned out really nice. One more time with those. That's a nice engraving. And with the jig, that's made it really, really simple. In fact, I have a link. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but there's a link up here. hobowithwood.com/kiosk. That is a referral link that will let them know that I sent you there. If you purchase a kiosk, a Genmitsu Kiosk laser, and you would like to have the jig, and it's up there, I'm going to grab it. If you'd like to have that coaster jig that I made that fits right in there, you send me an email after you've bought your kiosk to hobowithwood@gmail.com. hobowithwood@gmail.com. Let me know. Say, hey, Hobo, I bought a kiosk. I used your link, and I would really like to have that jig. I will send you the jig. I'll put a link to the coasters that I'm using down in the description, so you'll have access to those same coasters that fit in that jig perfect, that fits into the kiosk perfect. So you'll be a step ahead of everybody else with being able to do reproduce stuff without a whole lot of headache, without having to create it yourself. If you have already bought your Genmitsu Kiosk and you would like to purchase that jig, I will have it available. If you send me an email, same email, hobowithwood@gmail.com, say, hey, I've already bought my kiosk, but I'd really like to have that. Send me an email. I will send you the information and send you the file, how you can purchase that. So thank you for watching. This is a cool little machine, but it is just that, a cool little machine. It is, the name is perfect, kiosk. That's what it's for. It's for using in an environment as a little kiosk laser to do small little jobs and turn out some fast, easy money. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget that's your referral link, and you always reach me at hobowithwood@gmail.com. I'm Steve. I am Hobo, and I'll see you in the next video. Again, thanks for watching.